Hello everybody and welcome back to Matty Reacts, the channel where we take a look at things that I've never seen or listened to before. And today we're taking a bit of a step back in time, because when I was slightly younger and smaller, there was a band about by the name of Kids in Glass Houses, and they did some really sort of iconic songs from my teen into early 20s era, like Give Me What I Want, Matters at All, Undercover Lover with Frankie Bridges, she is these days, from the Saturdays, and they recently got back together for Slam Dunk Festival. Well, I don't know if they got back together for Slam Dunk Festival, but they announced that they were getting back together as part of the Slam Dunk Festival lineup announcements, and we've got a new song by them, so I've got to check it out, because it's been like 15 years since their big hits came out. God, that makes me feel so old. But this one is called Theme from Pink Flamingo. I can't find any evidence that it's the theme for anything called Pink Flamingo, so I think it's just a weird song title name. But let's see what it's got in store for us.
Hello and welcome to Flamingo TV with me, Temento Houlihan. The only place to get the hippest, most happening music on the television. Ladies and gentlemen, Kids in Glass Houses.
Oh yes. For a split second when that jingle at the start came on, I thought they'd gone the route of Imagine Dragons and gone down the sort of weird funk route, because but it also kind of sounded a bit like the old like 90s theme songs like Supermarket Sweep and those sort of things. But the intro to the actual song, which I presume this is, does sound a lot more like what I'd expect from them. Ooh, nice synth. You know, with this added synth and the way the vocals are different than they used to be, which is perfectly understandable, by the way, and expected. You know, I think Alid is the lead singer's name. He's aged as much as I have, so his voice isn't going to sound exactly the same. But the way his voice is different, and the way that they've added synths into the songs, this actually reminds me a lot of Walk the Moon, who did Shut Up and Dance. That was probably almost as old as this, to be fair now, as almost as old as Kids in Glass Houses' old songs, I should say. But I get that sort of vibe from it. Interesting.
You were too slow to find me. You were too quick to let me go. You were 2 steps behind me. You were too far to let me know. So we go shopping for a brand new face. Is this a mirror or a television? Wanna be a winner in the human race with this smile. For Messiah, get a narcissist. Won't somebody think of all the kids? We don't know.
This is certainly meeting the criteria of what seems to be on my channel a lot, which is, you know, songs that sound like they're inspired by the 80s, which this does, and because of that, I like it. I like that it still sounds like real music as well, and by that I don't mean like some elitist sense of what real music is. I mean real instruments. It sounds like they're playing real instruments, but also they're having a lot more fun with it, I feel. I mean, you can see by the way that he's acting in the video that, you know, he's comfortable with having a bit of fun with things. And the music just sounds like all the good parts of being able to just do what you want rather than what people expect from you. And I like how the video keeps jumping into 4:3 as well as 16:9 ratio. Oh, we're getting a sax solo. Or a very slight one in the background. You can still hear it. Yeah, I mean this sort of 80s synth light rock pop stuff was all the stuff that was I feel like it had a bit of a resurgence earlier this decade. You know, I've got a Spotify playlist that I basically put together in 2021 out of everything that Spotify suggested to me, which ones I liked and stuff. And there are like 5 or 6 songs on there that sound like they could be on an album with this song. So I feel like maybe they're a couple of years late to this kind of soundscape, in terms of if they're bothered about, you know, what's hip and cool, which, as is evident by me using the term hip and cool, I am not bothered about being hip and cool. And I don't think they are either. So, you know, good for them. Release what sort of music you want to make. And it feels like this is probably what, you know, what they want to make. And like I say, even though it is, you know, maybe not the most up to date in terms of pop culture and pop music at the moment, it's still a very catchy song and still one that I'm definitely going to add onto the playlist. Like I say, vibe wise, this is sort of another one of the summer ones. You know, as I'm recording this, we're on the longest day of the year, right slap bang in the middle of summer. So yeah, this will go very nicely on that. But yeah, let's see what the last 30 seconds is going to give us. You know you're in for a good time though when there's a saxophone on this track, right? It was Aled Phillips. I thought his name was Aled. Yeah, I think I said it all in the last break, so I won't repeat all of it again. But basically, to recap, yeah, it sounds like a really good song. It sounds like a progression from what they used to do, but there was enough of what they did used to do in there that it didn't sound like they completely lost who they were as a band. It felt to me like a band with members that are 15 years older making songs that are different, but that they still have that underlying DNA of the music they made when they were younger. And it sounds really summery and really apt for the sort of music that I've been listening to over the past couple of years in terms of, you know, 80s inspired synth pop bangers. But this one with added emo. or added guitar, I guess. I don't know if Kids in Glass Houses were ever emo as such. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. So yeah, thank you very much for dropping by, and I'll see you again in another reaction video very soon.